A year ago, 16-year-old Yuta Okatsu found himself trapped in a terrifying situation. Bullied by a group of boys, one of them even threatened to kill him. Overwhelmed with fear, Yuta called out to Rika, his girlfriend, whose spirit was still bound to him even after her death. Rika's intervention saved Yuta, but the incident led to Yuta being detained by the police, who locked him in a closet. Despite this, Satoru Gojo, a powerful sorcerer, saw potential in Yuta's extraordinary abilities and decided to offer him a chance to enroll in Jujutsu High, a school for those with supernatural powers. When Gojo visited Yuta in the detention center, he noticed a broken knife beside him. Yuta confessed that he had attempted suicide, but Rika had prevented him from going through with it. Gojo then offered Yuta a place at his school, promising that they would train him to use his powers to protect others. Initially, Yuta was hesitant, still haunted by the bullying he had endured, but Gojo convinced him that he could grow stronger and use his abilities for good. The next day, Yuta met his new classmates, Inumaki Toge, Panda, and Maki Zenin, but their initial meeting was anything but welcoming. They began to bully Yuta, only for Gojo to intervene, reminding everyone that Rika's presence meant they should not cross Yuta. This moment triggered a memory for Yuta. When he was 10, Rika had given him an engagement ring, promising to marry him when they were older. Tragically, Rika died in a car accident that same night, but her spirit remained with Yuta, protecting him whenever he was in danger. Gojo assigned Yuta and Maki a mission, though Maki was reluctant to work with Yuta and ignored his attempts at conversation. Panda apologized on Maki's behalf, trying to ease the tension. Together, Yuta and Maki entered an abandoned school where 2 children had mysteriously disappeared. Maki explained that schools and hospitals often harbor strong negative emotions, attracting dangerous curses. As they explored the school, they were suddenly attacked by a group of curses. Maki fought bravely, impressing Yuta with her strength and skill, but inside the building, they encountered an even more powerful curse that easily destroyed half the structure and swallowed them both. Trapped inside the curse's stomach, Maki was furious, having lost her weapon, while Yuta was terrified, unsure of how to summon Rika. Amidst the chaos, they heard the cries of 2 children, the ones they had been sent to find. One of the children had fallen unconscious, and the curse's influence was beginning to take its toll on Maki as well. Desperate to save them, Yuta took off his ring, a memento of Rika's promise, and called out to her for help. Rika's spirit manifested, unleashing her immense power and defeating the curse, saving them all. This marked a turning point for Yuta, realizing the true extent of his abilities and the bond he shared with Rika. Meanwhile, Yuta Okatsu, exhausted but determined, carried Maki and the 2 children on his shoulders. Just as he was about to collapse, Rika's voice resonated in his mind, encouraging him. "You can do it, Yuta." Her words gave him the strength to keep going. Watching from a distance, Gojo observed Yuta's resilience and was deeply impressed by how he had protected Maki and the children, saving their lives. After the ordeal, Yuta looked at his ring in disbelief, amazed that he had not only saved lives, but had also summoned Rika on his own. Seeing this potential, Gojo took Yuta to the weapons store, where an array of powerful tools was on display. Gojo explained that if Yuta could learn to control Rika's cursed energy stored within the ring, both he and Rika could finally be free. With that, Gojo began training Yuta in swordsmanship. Maki, Panda, and Inumaki Toge had already been training for 3 months, and Maki's sword skills were nothing short of remarkable. She moved with grace and precision, setting a high standard for Yuta. Recognizing Yuta's potential, Gojo assigned him to accompany Toge on a mission, a chance for Yuta to develop his swordsmanship and learn more about controlling his power. However, Gojo warned Yuta to avoid relying too heavily on Rika's energy. Using too much could be fatal. This warning left Yuta uneasy. As Yuta and Toge reached their destination, Toad bought an energy drink from a shop to boost his powers. They then began to explore the area, which was crawling with curses, many of them in groups. Yuta recalled Maki's advice. Curses that move in groups are usually weaker and easier to defeat. But suddenly, a massive and formidable curse appeared before them. Toad used his power to break the curse's hand, but the effort took a toll on him. The curse was too strong, and Toge's condition worsened. Yuta, sensing the danger, tried to drag Toge to safety, but Toge's energy drink was left behind. Despite his weakened state, Toge insisted on fighting the curse alone. Impressed by Toge's determination, Yuta refused to leave him, deciding they would fight together. Drawing a small amount of energy from his ring, Yuta prepared to face the curse. He skillfully dodged the curse's attacks, retrieved Toge's energy drink, and tossed it to him. Re-energized, Toad regained his strength, and together they managed to defeat the curse, celebrating their successful mission. Reflecting on the battle, Yuta realized that if he could break Rika's curse, he could become a normal person again. Later, Toad was quietly watering the plants while Panda and Yuta watched him. Panda explained to Yuta that Toad had been born with cursed powers, a burden he had carried his entire life. Just then, Maki appeared, calling Yuta to continue his training. Curious, Yuta asked Maki how he could transfer Rika's cursed energy into his sword, but Maki, frustrated, told him not to ask her about curses again before walking away. In the classroom, 3 banners hung on the wall. One read, "Love the powerful," another, "Punish the weak," and the third, "Kill the stupid." These words were written by Suguru Gito, a special-grade curse user known for cursing over 100 people to their deaths. Meanwhile, at Gito's house, a woman and her daughter arrived, seeking help for a problem that plagued them. When Gito returned home and saw the mother and daughter, he instantly understood their situation. Ordinary people couldn't see curses, but Gito could. A curse had been tormenting the girl, but Gito effortlessly removed it, providing them relief. Afterward, the mother and daughter left, grateful for his help. Back at the school, Yuta began to sense that something was amiss, but Panda, Inumaki, and the others dismissed his concerns, assuring him that everything was fine. Gojo suspected that Gito was behind the recent disturbances. His suspicions were confirmed when a 4-winged white dragon appeared, carrying Gito, who descended before Yuta Okatsu. Gito tried to persuade Yuta to join him, but the conversation was interrupted as Gojo, the principal, and others arrived. Gito insulted them, calling them useless monkeys. Yuta, offended by the disrespect toward his friends, firmly refused to side with someone who belittled them. Seeing Yuta's resolve, Gito apologized, but Gojo stepped in, demanding to know why Gito had come. Gito revealed his plan. On December 24th, he and his followers would host a Sword Night parade in Tokyo. He boasted about his organization, claiming they had protected people from over 2,000 curses, reducing the curse population. Gojo dismissed the achievement, suggesting the curses must have been weak. As December 24th approached, Gito unleashed his army on Tokyo as a distraction, allowing him to target Yuta at the school. Gito's sinister plan was to kill Yuta and absorb Rika's cursed energy, making himself even more powerful. He could only harness Rika's immense power by eliminating her host, Yuta. Meanwhile, Maki confided in Yuta that she had no cursed powers of her own and could only see curses through her special glasses. Yuta admired her strength and determination, recognizing how hard she worked to prove herself. But their conversation was cut short when Yuta noticed curses attacking the city from the window. Maki, fueled by her fierce spirit, challenged Gito to a fight. While this was happening, Gojo was searching for Yuta, who had disappeared. Suddenly, Ajihi approached Gojo with a report on Yuta that he had ordered. Upon reading it, Gojo realized the urgency of the situation and immediately instructed Panda and Toad to find Yuta at the school. He promised to join them after handling the situation in the city. At the school, Maki was badly injured, unable to defeat Gito. When Panda and Toad arrived, Panda transformed into his gorilla mode, releasing a powerful red light as he prepared to fight Gito. But even his strength wasn't enough. Toad then stepped in, using all his power and energy, but he too failed to bring Gito down. Seeing his friends in such dire straits, Yuta became furious. Despite Toad urging him to run, Yuta called on Rika twice, summoning her to help. Gito sent more curses to attack Yuta, but Yuta skillfully defeated them with his sword, while Rika protected the other students. After the battle, Yuta began healing his friends. However, Rika, in her fury, shook Maki violently, blaming her for Yuta's suffering. Yuta quickly intervened, calming Rika down and asking her to take care of Maki instead. Rika apologized to Yuta, asking if he was angry with her. Yuta smiled and reassured her, saying he could never be angry with her. As they turned to face Gito, Rika asked Yuta if he hated him. Yuta replied yes, and Rika vowed to fight by his side. Gito was impressed by Yuta's ability to learn curse techniques and heal his friends so quickly. In response, he summoned more curses to attack Yuta, but Rika created a magical microphone and handed it to Yuta. Speaking into it, Yuta commanded the curses to die, and they all instantly perished. Gito marveled at Rika's power, but Yuta declared that he would kill Gito. In Tokyo, soldiers continued to battle the curses, wreaking havoc in the city. Back at the school, Yuta and Rika launched their attack on Gito, but Gito, taunting them, expressed his boredom with weak fighters, revealing his desire to create a world where only the strong exist. Yuta, undeterred, admitted he didn't understand Gito's plan, but knew he had to fight to save his friends. Mustering nearly all his energy, Yuta delivered a powerful punch that sent Gojo crashing to the ground. However, Yuta's sword shattered from the strain, having used more than half of his cursed energy in one strike. Gojo, regaining his composure, sneered, explaining that Yuta's sword broke because it couldn't handle the immense power. He then ominously announced that he would call forth his special grade ally and transfer 4,461 cursed powers, preparing for an even more devastating attack. As Yuta Akatsu faced the overwhelming threat of Gojo, memories of his childhood flooded his mind. How Rika had always been there for him, protecting him for the past 6 years, loving him unconditionally, and keeping him safe from every danger. With a heavy heart, Yuta made a fateful decision. He asked Rika for one final act of help to stop Gojo, promising that in return, he would give her his heart and his body, knowing that using all of Rika's energy would mean his own death. In a poignant moment, Yuta and Rika shared a kiss, a gesture of their deep bond. This connection unleashed Rika's full power, and together they managed to defeat Gojo in a fierce battle. As the dust settled, Gojo and the others arrived. Gojo revealed that Gojo had once been his best friend. Despite Gojo's hatred for humanity, he admitted he never harbored ill will toward the students of the school before leaving the scene. Yuta, exhausted and resigned to his fate, confessed to his friends that he had sacrificed his life by using Rika's power. But then, something miraculous happened. Rika began to transform back into her original form, just as she was when she was 10 years old. Gojo then shared a revelation that changed everything. He had uncovered a report from Agigi about Yuta and Rika's past. It wasn't Rika who had cursed Yuta, but rather Yuta who had unknowingly cursed Rika. On the day Rika died, Yuta's desperate wish for her to stay with him had bound her soul to his, creating the curse that kept her by his side. Realizing the truth, Yuta tearfully apologized to Rika for what he had done, but Rika, with a gentle smile, hugged Yuta and thanked him for giving her 6 more years to be with him. She told him that he didn't need to die, that he should live. With that, Rika's soul finally found peace, and she disappeared, leaving Yuta to face a future without her, but with a newfound understanding of the love and bond they had shared.